A block. I'm Tim Neverett. Hope you're having a great Sunday afternoon. Pirates going for the sweep today. Two great games to start the homestand against Arizona. Got some good pitching last night from James McDonald, but it was the offense, Bob, that got going. Three big guys in the lineup. McCutchen, Bowker, and Chris Snyder all produced.
Yeah, they really did a great job. An offensive explosion. Haven't really seen that type of offense a whole lot this year, but it was a lot of fun to see in last night's game. You see the numbers for those three you just mentioned. Snyder not in there this afternoon. The other guys are. McCutchen just continues to be the motor at the top of our lineup, showing some power the last couple of nights. And Bowker getting an opportunity. Played first base last night. He's there again today and just hammering the ball. The ball's leaping off his bat. Really using that top hand.
John Bowker again back at first base today after he showed some great use of the bat last night. Garrett Jones still nursing a sore left shoulder, and Brandon Moss will be in right field today for the Pirates. The pitching matchup features Zach Duke and Daniel Hudson. Daniel Hudson has been tremendous since he's been picked up from the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, real lift for the Diamondbacks. So going into that starting rotation, fantastic job. Duke, on the other hand, he's been going the other way pretty quickly, and right now he is desperate for a good start.
Hudson and Duke, that's the pitching matchup. It's been a good start to the homestand so far. Pirates are 2-0, trying to make it 3-0. Can they sweep the Snakes? Find out next as the Bucks and Diamondbacks take on one another on FSN.
PNC for the achiever in us all by Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward.
Pretty pleasant Sunday afternoon here in Pittsburgh. And the Parrot out to greet his friends, the umpires, and make sure that they all know what time it is. Nice clock. Parrot can tell time. He can't speak, but he can tell time.
The Pirates got off a little early yesterday. The parent didn't like that.
That's the time, boys. All right, we are underway as Zach Duke delivers the first pitch of the ball game to Stephen Drew. 81 degrees here at first pitch. Really nice Sunday afternoon. And mid to late September.
Yeah, we get another little shot of summertime weather coming in.
0-2 quickly. And the pitch up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stephen Drew, 277 hitter, 3 out of 9 in the series. That one's outside 2-2. He has double figures in home runs, doubles, and triples. Does Drew. 12 home runs, 31 doubles, 10 triples. 2-2 pitch from Duke. Just outside. So a good start at 0-2. Now he's filled up the count.
Pretty good numbers for Drew, aren't they?
Excellent. Excellent numbers for Drew. He's had another stellar season. Pops this one up. Center fielder Andrew McCutchen doesn't have to move very much, and he makes the out. Kirk Gibson's lineup is sponsored by Toyota. Moving forward, Ryan Roberts will hit second after Drew. Then Chris Young, the all-star, back in the lineup. Mark Reynolds, 8 for 13 career against Zach Duke with 2 home runs. Adam LaRoche, Tony Abreu, John Hester behind the plate, Gerardo Parra back in right field, and Daniel Hudson doing the pitching and batting ninth.
Take a look at Duke's numbers, and they're not good right now. Opponent batting average of 326 is way higher than you ever want to see it when you're any kind of a pitcher, especially a starter.
1-0. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike. How important of a start is this for Zach Duke?
You know, I don't really think it's all that important. As far as like what his future, I don't think it's a big deal. I think maybe personally it's important for him.
2-1 now to Ryan Roberts.
So 1 start, he could throw no hitter today, and it's not going to change those numbers we just saw.
Not a lot. Yeah.
So as far as the decision making for where they're at with Zach for next season, I'm thinking that they already to this point have a good feeling of what they're going to try and do with Zach. Whether it's arbitration, that would be a surprise to me. They could non-tender him like they did Matt Capps last year. Matt Capps had some similar type opposition batting average numbers last year, if you remember. He had a hard time with that, giving up a ton of base hits. You know, or they could maybe try to work out some deal with Zach as he throws strike 3 at a below market value as far as arbitration numbers. There's the fastball on the inside corner, locked them up. AGH cam shows that ball right on the black, knee high. Nice job by Domet showing that one to the umpire.
Chris Young, the hitter. 2 men out, top half of the first inning, 1 ball and no strikes. And Young, who participated in the home run derby at the All-Star game, didn't do very well. He had 1 home run in the first round, that was all. And had an early exit. Lifts this one down the left field line, foul.
I can remember last time we had an All-Star game at Three River Stadium. Jeff Bagwell, similar type deal, got up there and just could not hit a home run. Kept hitting line drives.
2-1 is a line drive to left. And a base hit for Young with 2 outs.
If it had been a ball game, he would have been about 9 for 10. Just hitting line shots everywhere, but he couldn't get the ball over the fence.
Well, he had a certain swing, and he didn't want to mess it up. And there is that school of thought that guys who participate in the home run derby struggle a little bit with their power numbers when they come back for the second half because they feel their swing has been altered somewhat. Mark Reynolds, who has a home run swing, 32 times he has gone deep. Pitch on the way to Reynolds. Foul tip into the glove of Domet for strike 1. 1 ball, No balls, 1 strike, beg your pardon. And for Reynolds, guy who strikes out a ton. 199 strikeouts. He leads baseball in that category. Next closest to him in the National League is Adam Dunn of Washington, 178 strikeouts. He struck out twice in the game last night. Reynolds also walked twice, scored twice, and managed a base hit. 2 outs, Young the runner at first. Young with 27 stolen bases. Pirates want to keep him close. John Bauker out there at first base again. Garrett Jones nursing a sore left shoulder. Hurt it while making a diving play during the series in New York, and then aggravated it again Friday night on another dive against the Diamondbacks here. Now it's 1-1. That one in the dirt.
It's pretty amazing looking at Reynolds' numbers this year. The .206 batting average within the 32 home runs, 80 some RBIs.
One pitch. It's inside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Tough to get a handle on exactly what kind of a hitter is he.
Well, last year he set the major league record for strikeouts in a season with 223. He broke his record from the previous season. Two and two.
You see Adam Dunn, he strikes out a ton too, but he usually has a decent batting average and usually a very good on base percentage. Adam Dunn, sometimes his on base percentage is pushing 400 some years because he has a very good eye at the plate for walks, and people don't throw him a lot of strikes.
2-2. We'll wait. Then the throw over to first base. Young is back. Well, there are 3 Diamondbacks in the top 10 in strikeouts. Adam LaRoche with 155, and Justin Upton, who's been out of the lineup this weekend, with 152. Two. Popped him up to Bauker. And a good start for Zach Duke. No runs to hit, a man left after a half inning. It's scoreless. Facing only 4 hitters. No score if we go to the bottom of the first. And John Russell has his lineup like this. McCutchen leading off. Tabata this series 4 out of 8 with a pair of doubles he's driven into. Neil Walker hits third. Alvarez in the cleanup spot again today. Dome at 5th. Bauker 6th. Moss gets a start. He's in right field. Ronnie Cedeno and Zach Duke facing Daniel Hudson, tall right-hander.
Hudson's numbers. I mean, is there anything that he hasn't done well?
First ball swinging. McCutchen drives it deep to left center. This one's gone! A leadoff homer for Andrew McCutchen, and it's 1-0.
That's almost for Hudson's great numbers.
Home run number 16, and his second in as many games as Andrew McCutchen dials long distance on the first pitch to him.
Up held high, right down the middle. Sometimes leadoff guys, they'll like to go deep in the count, especially a pitcher they haven't seen before. They'll take their time, but McCutchen deciding to pick on the first thing he saw.
Second leadoff home run this season. Had one on the 4th of August against Cincinnati, but it's the 6th time in his career now he has led off with a home run. And that pitch just grooved.
The ball got back in the Pirates bullpen. That's how far it carried.
And now Jose Tabata has to follow that act. His first at bat. The 2-2 pitch from Hudson. Down to third base. Reynolds throwing on the run. He's got Tabata, 1 out, but 1 run is in. Pirates on the board. Safe Auto Insurance reminds you you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. So Bucko Blast to start the game. Andrew McCutchen. It's the Pirates on the board, 1-0 against Daniel Hudson. It's the 7th home run Hudson has given up this year. Neil Walker batting with 1 out. First ball swinging, and he pops it up. Reynolds and foul ground. 2 away. Let's take out our PNC achievement and have a look at it. Daniel Hudson on the road with Arizona, 4-0, an ERA of 1.5, 8 scoreless innings Tuesday against the Reds. He's been pretty good on the road, 6-1 overall since joining Arizona, 7-2 combined between Arizona and the White Sox. PNC for the achiever in us all. Now the cleanup hitter, Pedro Alvarez. High ball 1. Pedro 231, 11-43, has 1 hit in the series so far. It came on Friday night. It was a 4th inning single. Pirates 4-3 win. Last night Pirates winning 9-6.
Yeah, the way Hudson delivers the ball, kind of lays it way out there 3/4. You would think he would have a lot of movement on it, like his fastball would really run, but it doesn't really look like it does. Off-speed pitch. Had a little tail to it. But at least looking in from the center field camera, fastball doesn't look like it really runs a whole lot, or any more than somebody that throws a little more over the top would have. But he definitely kind of just lays it out there early, almost like slinging the ball to the plate. Watch his arm angle.
Count full 3-2 to Pedro. Making his 15th career start today is Hudson, his first ever against the Pirates, and he'll certainly remember that very first pitch he threw against Pittsburgh. Ended up in the Pirate bullpen. Calling the balls and strikes, DJ Rayburn. Scott Berry is at first base today. Jerry Meals at second. And Dale Scott is the third base umpire. 3-2. Outside ball 4. 2-out walk issued to Alvarez.
3-2 breaking ball. Off speed pitch. Change up or something down and away.
Hudson, 6'4", 225, out of Virginia Beach, born in Lynchburg. Spent 3 years with the White Sox organization. Made his major league debut last year, but this year was called up on the 11th of July to take the spot of Jake Peavy in the White Sox rotation. Then 19 days later, he was traded to the Diamondbacks in the Edwin Jackson deal. So he comes up, finds himself in a big league rotation, really for the first time during the middle of the season. He was a September call-up last year.
We don't have to be worrying about any of that stuff next season.
He'll be
with what he has done.
He'll be with Arizona.
Yeah, he'll go to spring training with a little different agenda this year. Just getting ready for that first start. Not having to worry about making a team.
Adam LaRoche holding on Pedro. 1-1 coming to Doman. Foul tip. 1-2. For a lot of guys, that's what they're experiencing this time of the year. When you look at the Pirates and Neil Walker and Pedro Alvarez and Jose Tabata, these are guys who haven't played baseball this long in a season before. And you look at the lineup, they're in there every day, and that's on purpose. It's not like they need a day off at this point in time. John Russell wants to get them used to playing September baseball. Doman pops it up, foul ground. LaRoche underneath it. And that does it. Pirates will leave a man, but they get one in as Andrew McCutchen greets Daniel Hudson on the very first pitch with his second leadoff home run of the year. This one traveling a long way into the Bucco bullpen. 1-0 Pirates heading to the second. Game on a Kids Day Sunday. Get up that wall. That's a tall task for that young man. He's got a long way to go.
There's a pirate treasure chest at the top. That's where it's buried. So that's what the map said.
Well, someone's going to beat him to it if he doesn't hurry.
You know, this is a international Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Yeah, we were reminded a few times.
Yes, we haven't done it yet.
No,
we'll have to throw some pirate terms out there before the end of the day.
We got to make a list. So when we say one, we'll cross it off. So that way we'll be complying with National Talk Like a Pirate Day. LaRoche pops it up to second. Neil Walker will make the catch, one down.
It's international. It's all over the world.
It's all over the world today. You know, it wasn't on my calendar. It must have. See, I get like Boxing Day on December 26th, things like that on my calendar, Arbor Day. But International Talk Like a Pirate Day just doesn't show up on my calendar.
Well,
I don't know why.
I don't know where you're getting your calendar.
Wrong place, obviously. Tony Abreu, former Dodger. Came over from the Dodgers as a player to be named later when the Dodgers got John Garland. This one will drop in front of Tabata for a base hit. Abreu was in with a 1-out single. That'll bring up John Hester. Abreu, a switch hitter. And here is Hester doing the catching today. Hester out of Stanford. Stanford, pretty good baseball program, known for their pitchers more so than their catchers. Pitch from Duke. And Hester takes inside. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think Duke really, just for his own peace of mind, I think he knows what the situation here is with the Pirates, and that's, he's accepted that. He realizes that he may be in trouble as far as being in their plans for next year, but at the same time, he needs to prove to himself that he can finish with a couple of good games. So personally, to go on about that question you asked me earlier, important game for Zach. I mean, there was even some talk after the last start, maybe more so up in the media in press box than anywhere else, but would he even get any more starts?
Well, assuming he stays in the rotation, he'd be in line for 2 more this year after today. I think the way it would line up, off the top of my head, it would be next Sunday against Houston, and then one of the games in Florida, the last road trip. Towards short. Great diving stop by Cedeno to second. They get the force there. Terrific play by the Buccos shortstop Ronnie Cedeno, taking a hit away from Hester, and the Pirates turn it into an out.
Yeah, the ball was really hit sharply. Laying out, pops up. A little bit of a wide throw to Walker. Walker, rightly so, just kind of took it like a first baseman, kept his foot on the bag and stretched for the ball. Didn't try to do the impossible and turn that into a double play. Although if the throw would have been right over the bag, Walker may have took a shot at first base.
Cedeno's been playing some of his best baseball this month. Take a look at second.
And Walker, he's thinking maybe double play, but now he's got to stretch like the first baseman, reach out after the ball, and that takes the double play out of possibility.
1-0 to Gerardo Parra. He's been getting better and better around the bag. And a good no throw that time. I think you're right. If that throw was in another area, he would have at least given it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the ball was hit fairly hard. We saw Cedeno, boy, he really bounced up off the ground quick. Throw just a little off the target.
To an 0 to Parra. Hester off at first, swinging a foul back. Troy Tulowitzki and Stephen Drew are the only two in the National League ahead of Ronnie Cedeno in fielding percentage. A couple of pretty good guys behind them in Cabrera and Reyes. So Ronnie right up there among the National League's best in fielding percentage at that position. Runner takes off, pitch is fouled away. And the count will be 2-2. Gerardo Parra starting all 3 games this weekend in right field. That's normally the spot of Justin Upton. In fact, in Arizona, there's a sign behind him that says Uptown. This is Uptown. But Upton's been bothered with some shoulder irritation, and his participation's been very limited. He was a pinch runner in this series Friday night. Foul again out of play by Parra. So Parra has been in right field each night. Played a lot of left field this year for the Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks having a very disappointing season. They had much higher hopes when things got underway back in April. Kirk Gibson, the interim manager, I guess he still has that label. Did they take it off?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's probably interim. And the general manager's post is still up for grabs, and there have been a handful of pretty good candidates interviewing for that, including former Padres GM Kevin Towers. He's interested in the position, and as I understand, has interviewed for the job. I think the general manager would have some say in who the next manager would be, but they've got to hire a GM first, apparently. So, in the meantime, Kirk Gibson,
yeah, if they're
doing
late,
his duty for the ball
if
club.
they're late enough doing that, then the new GM might just say, hey, it's too late to really make any kind of moves, and the interim's gone, and they're going to go with Kirk. I'm sure he'd love to keep that job.
2 outs, 1 on. 2-2 to Parra. Swung on, hit up in the air to right field. Brandon Moss calling for it. He will take care of it easily. Nothing across for the Diamondbacks. No score after 1.5. Eastern League Championship last night. They defeated the Trenton Thunder 3-1, the best-of-5 series. First Eastern League title in its 12 years of existence. Justin Wilson, the MVP of the playoffs, 2-0, 13 scoreless innings. Daniel Moskos had 3 saves. He saved all 3 of those games. And congratulations to the Pirates AA team, the Altoona Curve, for winning the Eastern League title. Now that is a hat. Little Bear Bryant action here at the ballpark today. Black and gold houndstooth cap. Pretty stylish.
It looks very sharp.
John Bowker leads off. Brandon Moss to follow, then Ronnie Cedeno, 6, 7, 8. Bowker shoots one to right field for a base hit. John Russell very excited to see the youngsters winning the title, talking about the Altoona Curves championship and what that means to the franchise.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing for us, that we have some very good young players here now, and seeing what we have in the minor leagues, it's on its way, that they're sticking together, that there's some very good talent down there, that, yeah, it bodes very well for your organization as a whole. It makes it gives you the feeling, and it does, that, you're strong.
Always nice to see. A championship last year in Single A, now in Double A this year, with 2 teams going to the postseason this year, Bradenton in Single A and Altoona in Double A and winning it. So these guys are not only learning how to play baseball, they're learning how to play winning baseball.
Yeah, it's got to be a great thrill for a lot of those young minor leaguers.
Moss to center field. Underneath it, Chris Young. 1 out. Good to see the pitching that's coming up doing well. Justin Wilson having an outstanding postseason. Good regular season, too.
Well, we definitely need some help in that area. I don't know if we'll see any of those guys that, come April 1st next year. Never know.
Stranger things have happened. 1 out, 1 on. Cedeno takes inside ball 1. Ronnie playing like he wants to be here for sure. There was a point during the year where he sat for a while. In fact, over a week. As Diaz had 8 straight starts. And there was also a time when Bobby Crosby was still here, when Cedeno had a spat with a member of the coaching staff and was seated on the bench for a while. Bobby Crosby got a number of starts in a row. When Diaz was starting, it was more due to an injury to Cedeno than anything else. But since coming back from that, he's been very, very good. Showed you his defensive numbers before, but offensively, he battles, comes up with some big hits. Had a walk-off hit here Friday night.
Well, you look at the, some of his numbers out there, and good chance for him to have 30-some doubles by the end of the year. Just needs 3 more of those. And closing couple of weeks, got a good chance of hitting about 250. We talked about his fielding. Just a couple of guys with a better fielding percentage. So it's turned out to be a nice season for Ronnie. Room for improvement, but still not too bad.
Hudson's 2-1. Fouled off. Go back to Friday night, bottom of the ninth. Andrew McCutchen at second base. And Ronnie gets one into right center. Just enough to get the speedy McCutchen around and get a win for Evan Meek in relief. And the Pirates would end a 4-game losing skid on the walk-off hit by Cedeno. A 4-3 win. That got them some confidence back and a little bit of swagger, and they were able to win last night 9-6. Ground ball to short. Bonker safely in at second base. And Cedeno out 6-3.
Bonker moving with the pitch, able to sneak into second. Duke an opportunity maybe to help himself here.
Well, Duke's been due for a hit. He's got a couple of doubles this year. Had one in a while, but right now with a man in scoring position who can run some. He's got the outfield playing shallow for him. Apparently they haven't watched Zach in batting practice because he regularly puts him up over the Clemente wall into the bleachers.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to play up there.
No, you can't. You're right. 171 for his career. 100 points lower coming into this at bat. He's hitting 071.
Since he's been here, he's in the rare occasion where you need to have a pitcher pinch hit. It happens maybe 2 or 3 times a year most. Duke's been the guy they've gone to. Regardless of who he's played for manager-wise, he's been the guy.
1 year ago today, he was hitting 231. He had 4 runs batted in. It's been a different year for him at the plate also.
Bad vibes this year.
Hudson's 1-2. And Duke strikes out. And that's it for the Pirates in the second. We'll head to the third. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Today, the Pirates welcome the sponsors and suite holders for Kids Clinic. And a great time had by all on the field. Garrett Jones taking part. Just only the fundamentals today. Kept it in front. That was the important thing.
Got to knock it down.
Working with the coaches today. Here it is again. Kept it in front. Knocked it down. Oh, my. Time for the team photo. And a big smile. Make your smile from Aspen Dental. Some of the fun things that Pirate sponsors and suite holders get to do for their kids. That's a great opportunity. The puzzle poster today that was given out to the kids 14 and under.
Something to do in the off season. I'll have to get one of those.
Hey, take it apart and put it back together. You're not just going to take it, put it on the table and say, look, here's a puzzle I did. Two balls and no strikes to the pitcher, Daniel Hudson, leading off the top of the third. Hudson a 150 average. Sharply hit ground ball down to short. Cedeno takes care of him. One away. Well, visit the official online shop of the Pirates at Pirates.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Pirates.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Property of Pirates Baseball. Some great stuff in there. Or on there, we should say. Just go online. You can shop from home. Even on your mobile device.
It is amazing. You can use your mobile device sitting out by the edge of the river and buy whatever you want. A little shopping.
To first base, it's off of Bowker. Recovering is Walker, but just too late.
Bowker has looked very good down at first base up until that moment. They called it an error, right?
Error on Bowker.
Yep.
The first blemish we've seen from him at first base.
Came up, looks like he got him in the wrist.
Neil Walker alertly hopping on it. Drew reached on an error in the third inning last night as well. Strike called to Ryan Roberts. Now Roberts has come to bat twice in the series. Came up last night as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning and struck out looking. In his first plate appearance today, in the first, he also struck out looking. 0-1 to Roberts. One ball and one strike. Roberts is one of those guys in baseball who's not short of tattoos at all. He's got them everywhere. His neck, his arms. I walked into the clubhouse Friday. The first guy I saw was Roberts' tattoo on the neck. I go, oh, there's Ryan Roberts. Right away. That's how I recognized him.
Very popular nowadays, isn't it? Ink.
That wasn't the fad back in the 80s, though, was it? 80s and early 90s?
No, very, very seldom did you see anybody with any kind of a tattoo. Especially not, ones that cover your whole upper body.
Swing and a miss, the throw down, and they've got Drew hung up. Throw to Bowker, tags him out on the way by. See you later.
Hit and run. And you gotta protect your guy. With a left-hander out there, it's going to be a bad break on a hit and run. And he's going to be hung out to dry. But Walker, a nice play handling this throw. Not a very good throw. Bouncing in there, but Walker able to come up with it and get the ball to first base for that second, or for the out. And there's the second out. It puts him away for strike 3.
Roberts has struck out twice now. 1-0 Pirates. Hard blast in the first inning on the very first pitch of the bottom of the first. Andrew McCutchen goes deep for the 16th time this season. His second leadoff home run this year, 6th of his career. That's the cold hard blast, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Here he is again. Second time around, bottom of the third, 1-0 Pirates. Along with Bob Walk, Tim Everett on a sunny, it was a sunny, becoming an overcast Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, clouds are supposed to get thicker and thicker as the afternoon wears on.
Still some blue skies sneaking through some of the clouds, but seems to be more clouds moving around. 1-1.
Had a little shower real early this morning.
It's wide to third. That's good. I hope most of us had a shower early this morning.
Had new shower doors.
Did you read the paper? Do you have coffee? Anything else?
No, no paper. I did have coffee.
Yeah, how are those shower doors?
Finally got them up there. Looking really good.
Andrew McCutchen down on strikes. And there is one down. Today's Barrel Automotive League leader stat. Rookie batting average leaders in the National League. Jose Tabata on the list. Posey, Johnson, Jay, Morrison, Castro. Here's Tabata with a .302 average. Barrel Automotive. Definitely worth the click at barrel.com.
And Walker not too far away either. Walker was right up in the middle of that before we went to New York.
And Neil, after his 18-game hitting streak, and his average up where he'd like it, then he went into a little bit of a slump. 0 for 15 before getting a 2-run single in, I should say, before he hit a home run Friday night. He had a 2-run single last night, but a home run Friday night, then a base hit followed that in the fourth. Tabata chops it to Reynolds. Fair ball right over the bat to throw, and he got him.
Fine play by Reynolds. Tabata gets down that line as just about as good as anybody from the right side.
Mark Reynolds has been learning a lot. When you have a guy like Matt Williams in the Diamondbacks organization, and Matt is the first base coach now. He was in the broadcast booth and did some things in the front office before, but Matt now travels with the ball club as one of the coaches. Reynolds has worked a lot with him and has improved his defense at third base.
Yeah, Matt definitely one of the better gloves at third in his time. Started out as a shortstop.
could hit too.
Just about all those guys that move from short to third, they become one of the better fielding third basemen in the league.
There's Matt Williams. Giants, Indians, Diamondbacks. Did I miss anybody?
I don't know. I remember him, obviously for me, mainly as a Giant. That's when I had to deal with him. But, yeah, he was one of the more feared home run hitters back at that time.
2-1 to Walker.
Back in the old Candlestick Park days.
And when you pitched there, had a fly ball on certain days. Did you know where it was going to end up?
No, on certain days it was.
That wind was something else.
To speak like a pirate, it was all hands on deck because you didn't know where that was going to come down.
Cal State 2-2. The old stick still playing football there. 49ers are, but no more baseball there. Now they've got at least those swirling winds in control down in the China Basin where AT&T Park is. Still cold though in the summer. 2-2 fouled back.
Yeah, not as a little more protected there. Not as windy. Not as windy.
It's still windy.
Anywhere on that bay, you're going to get wind.
Yeah,
I mean, that's unavoidable. But yeah, Candlestick was out on that point, and it was just sometimes fierce winds.
Very often you'd see the little puffs of trash up in the air doing circles around. There's Walker up in the air to left center field. Chris Young. That's Ryan Roberts handling. Pirates go down in order in the third.
By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Day Automotive, we're going to make your day.
Well, the good word today comes to us from manager John Russell on the importance of solid starting pitching. It absolutely makes a difference when you know your starting pitcher is going to give you a shot. It's uplifting. You feed off of it. That's the good word from John Russell. That's the name of the game in baseball.
It's the foundation of every organization. It really is. It has been forever. All that other stuff just doesn't seem to matter much unless you have good starting pitching. You can't go out and outslug people for 6 months. That just doesn't work.
So far, so good through the first 3 innings for Zach Duke. 4th inning will be a test. That's what has been giving him the problems recently. He's not pitched past the 4th inning in each of his last 2 starts. And his shortest start was 1+, a 9-3 loss against Atlanta right here at PNC Park on the 8th of this month. So he's had too many short outings lately for his liking or anybody else's. 2-2 to Young. Well, it's a full count. And Zach knows it. He's a professional. He's trying to make adjustments. John Russell talking this week about the side session that he had while on the road in New York. And Young is aboard on the free pass, saying that that side session was very productive. They saw some good things. They saw that he was making some improvements in certain areas, and now they need him to translate it into a game. Pirates with a 1-0 lead on the leadoff home run by Andrew McCutchen. Now the leadoff walk to Chris Young. On the base hit and a walk. Mark Reynolds popped out to John Bowker at first in the first inning. Everything in one.
Those gloves he's got. Looks like garden gloves, huh? Gray, like you're getting ready to do some planting.
Or maybe some driving gloves. Except with it's got the knuckles filled in them.
Yeah, looks to me like he's getting ready to work in the yard. Guess they match the uniform pants. Wants to have some flow. Wants everything.
Those are his road gloves.
Steve would like that.
Good flow today, the outfit. Strike is called. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, even the logo.
Well, they have some
matches.
The trim, yes. Yeah.
Something like that. He's got the name brand logo, and matches the road pants. Fashion is important to some guys in this sport. 0-2 pitch. It's high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's why I said Steve would like that.
Nobody out, top of the 4th. Pirates a 1-0 lead. Chris Young at first base. Zach Duke will check him. And Young gets back.
The Diamondbacks have been sending some runners this afternoon. Most of the time it's been a foul ball. Caught 1 last inning. That wasn't really a steal. It was a hit and run, but that all falls under the same category as moving runners, trying to get something to happen. And you stimulate some offense.
Chris Young looking to run, perhaps. There's Steve. Collared shirt on today for radio. No hat today. Very good outfit. 1-2. That's down to 3rd. Whoa, what a play by Pedro Alvarez, and he throws him out. Well, the infield monster reached up and tripped Pedro, and he was still able to make the play.
Let's see where this ball went. Did it bounce back the other direction? He broke toward the line like it was going to be to his backhand and ended up catching it to his left. Yeah. I'm guessing that ball hit something and went back that way.
Well,
you know what I mean? He was definitely going to his backhand, and then the ball ended up going to his left.
Adam LaRoche batting with 1 out. Tying run now in scoring position. Let's watch the footing of Pedro on this play.
See, I would like to watch the ball on that play, because I want to see what the ball did, why he was on that side of the baseball. He's going to the line, and he came back, and I'm thinking the ball had to take a crazy hop off of him.
And that'll be a fair ball. This will tie the ball game up as Young will jog home. And into second base with a double is Adam LaRoche. It's 1-1.
Ball hit very hard.
93rd run batted in for LaRoche this year.
Sometimes with that short porch down there, you can hold a ball hit this hard to a single. Not this time.
So the leadoff walk comes back to haunt Zach Duke as Young scores on this double.
Leadoff walks. Is there a better way to give up a run?
It can't help you. I don't see how it can in any way, shape, or form.
It was like I took care of you there.
What we got?
They had a little something crawling on you. I took care of it. Remember the other day in New York, McCutchen hit the leadoff home run in the ninth?
Right. And Abreu to center field. LaRoche looks like he wants to tag. McCutchen getting behind it. Andrew McCutchen all the way to third. And, well, LaRoche is probably thinking, I should have tagged.
You know, when we were down by 2, he hit the leadoff home run, which put us down by 1. And I said at the time, and it sounded funny, but I'm really serious about this, I would have rather seen him walk than hit a leadoff home run. In that scenario, where it's the ninth inning, you got to get 2 runs. You want action on the bases rather than a clean slate and down by 1. Because, you know, once he hits a home run or once he gets a leadoff walk, it doesn't matter. Still, you get the tying run to the plate now.
John Hester, take low, ball 1.
You know, that infield's going to come in now, and they're going to play. They're going to look for 2, which reduces their range. Leadoff walks lead to a lot of stuff. And if you need more than 1 run, that's really what you're looking for.
Down the left field line this time, and this will get LaRoche in, and the Diamondbacks will have the lead at 2-1 as Hester pulls into second with an RBI double. 7th run batted in for Hester as LaRoche scored.
Now, last time Hester hit the ball right on the nose, but Ronnie was able to make a pretty darn good play on him out at shortstop. This time he elevates it a little. Gets a little hook on it, gets it down in that corner.
Two men out for Gerardo Parra. A walk and 2 doubles results in 2 runs. Pitch to Parra. It's outside for a ball. Now, the one thing the Pirates have been looking for this year is consistency. And here at home, they've had more than on the road, obviously, but again, trying to finish off series. They've won 2 games already. They'd like to win 3 in a row. And in order to do that, got to get the bats going some, but also got to keep the Diamondbacks off the bases. Pirates looking to finish the remainder of the schedule strong. 13 games remaining after today. A day off tomorrow. St. Louis for 3, Houston for 3, then on the road at St. Louis and at Florida to finish it up for 4. Ray Searage with a talk now for Zach Duke.
Quick word, just to maybe give him a little bit of a breather. Been out there for a little while this inning. Nothing going on in the bullpen at this point. It wasn't to give anybody time to get loose or anything like that. Just strictly to give Zach a little bit of breather and maybe remind him that the pitcher on deck doesn't necessarily have to give in here.
Parra up in the air to center field, and McCutchen's got it. 2 runs come in on 2 hits. There was a man left through 3.5. Now the Diamondbacks lead it by a 2-1 score.
Trying to get healthy, trying to come back, but it's probably most likely I won't. But just trying to get prepared to get better in the off season, to be able to work out and to be able to go play.
That's our AGH injury update, brought to you by our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you're wondering why you haven't seen Lastings Millage out there with a strained left oblique, and as he said right there, he doesn't think it's likely he'll play again this year. John Russell said don't count him out. There are some published reports out there that say he's done for the year, but when the manager says maybe not, leaves the door open for him. Alvarez behind in the count, 0-2. But certainly limited playing time we had seen before the injury occurred.
Doesn't sound like he thinks he's coming back. I think he hit the nail on the head there. Listening to and kind of trying to read between the lines. He was talking about getting ready for the offseason.
Yeah. Lastings will be heading to Venezuela in the offseason once he feels he is healed. He's going to play some winter ball this year. 1-2. Strike 3 call. Alvarez down on strikes. He's 0 for 1. This day in Pirates history brought to you by our friends at Day Automotive. September 19th, 1990, Barry Bonds hit his 30th and 31st home runs of the season to go along with his 30-plus stolen bases to become part of the first father-son combo to both join the 30-30 club. Came in an 8-7 Pirates win at Chicago. So Barry and Bobby Bonds, both 30-30 club members, after Barry reached it in 1990. That wasn't the day you hit your home run in Chicago, was it?
No, but you notice everything always happens against the Cubs. The poor Cubs.
Yeah. He Stennett goes 7 for 7.
Everything's always. Anytime we have a highlight, it's always against the Cubbies.
They must feel victimized.
Yeah. Facts are facts.
1-1 to Domet. Inside and low. 2 balls and a strike. Getting back to Lastings Village for a moment, he is one of perhaps 9 players that looks to be eligible for salary arbitration this winter. 2-2. And when that subject comes up, that could be good news for a number of guys. It could be not so good news for some.
It makes for decision time by the ball club. They know what it's going to take to get them signed up, or what the arbitrator is going to require. So then they have to decide, the team has to decide, is that what they want to pay for that position? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes, like with Caps last year, the answer was no.
4 for 4 in his last 4 is Bowker. Back to last night in his first plate appearance in the second inning, hit into a double play. Then in the fourth, a 408-foot home run to center field, driving in 2. In the fifth inning, he had a double. Seventh inning, a single. Had a base hit here in the second for his 4th straight hit. One ball, 1 strike. 2 men out, bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Diamondbacks. Daniel Hudson out of Old Dominion, 3 seasons at ODU. He was 20-4.
Yeah, that ball had a little tail move down on it. According to the scoreboard, that thing had a horizontal break of 7 inches.
You don't say.
But that's the kind of movement you would think you would get pretty regularly out of a delivery that Hudson has. Lays out. There's another 7 inch.
No vertical break whatsoever.
Nope. Went sideways 7 inches. Horizontal, that means sideways, right?
Yeah. Like to the horizon. That's how you remember that. Vertical, that's the other one.
It's like a tree.
Full count pitch. And Bowker to the right side. This time LaRoche gathers it in, flips on to Hudson covering. The Pirates for the second straight inning are down 1-2-3.
This is the one that struck out McCutchen. You really get a good view of the grip with our AGH cam of that changeup and how the ball is released. And look at the sideways spin that gets put on the ball because of that. Watch I'm going to show you the grip again. You can see it's just a circle change, but at release, he turns it over. And now the ball runs the other direction. And because of the lack of speed and the ball moving away, especially from them left-hand hitters, they can't get to the ball.
Hudson flies out to right field on the first pitch he sees.
And when they do get to it, it's off the end of the bat, hit weakly. That is a very good changeup, and that little twist of the wrist that you see right at release, the ball is spinning completely sideways. It looks like the Earth as it's circling the sun with that sideways spin.
That's what I thought of, too.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's in orbit.
Yeah. It's called a seasonal pitch. It has the seasons, because the way it's got a little tilt to it.
Now you're reaching. Now you're reaching.
But it really is. That's a great look at the grip and the way he releases it. Makes the ball not only lack speed, but the spin makes it move. The grip takes the speed off. The release puts the movement on the ball. Combination of the two. If you have control, you have one very effective change of pace.
1-2 to Stephen Drew. Drew, the brother of J.D. Drew of Boston. His older brother Tim Drew was a pitcher for Cleveland in the Expos. All three of them, by the way, drafted in the first round. The only trio of siblings ever in big league history to be first rounders. Pedro cuts it off and throws him out. 2 down for the Diamondbacks in the 5th. Third baseman getting to any ball he can. That's typically the rule of thumb there.
That ball is hit slowly and much easier play. He's got momentum going toward the bag to make a throw. Shortstop's got to be going the other way. He's going to get to the ball, probably about a half a second maybe before the shortstop can.
A 6-pitch inning for Zach Duke. Outstanding work. Pedro a little busy out there as well. 6:35 matinee game. Don't miss the final T-shirt Thursday of the season. All fans get a Pirates T-shirt courtesy of Central Blood Bank. For tickets, visit pirates.com/T-shirt. Also, before the game, make sure you're out here. Alumni autographs in the Hall of Fame Club featuring John Smiley, Don Schwall, and yes, even Bob Watt.
Pirate legends, yeah.
That's it. All the legends.
Legends there.
Will they be there too? Never mind.
Any legends?
1-1 to Brandon Moss. Takes a strike, 1-2. Moss facing Daniel Hudson. Hudson actually was asked to participate in the All-Star game as a member of the U.S. team for the Futures game and did not participate. It was just a few days later he was called up, so must have had an indication he was coming to the big leagues, turning down the Futures game in Anaheim. 1-2 pitch, and Moss goes the other way, foul again.
Tough time with that changeup.
Now, Brandon was a little upset yesterday that his Georgia Bulldogs were losers to the Arkansas Razorbacks. He was not happy about it. Down the right field line foul. You know, many guys do turn their away from baseball attention toward college football. You get guys who are from those areas and guys who have schools that compete against one another, like Alex Presley at Ole Miss and Paul Maholm, Mississippi State. Those are big rivals. And Moss takes a ball, 2-2. Pedro Alvarez went to Vanderbilt. He follows that football team closely.
That's really changed a lot. You know, when I played, nobody went to college. That's a big difference.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 strikeouts now for Hudson. Well, there are a lot of players that come out of college these days.
Yeah, there is. 4-seam fastball. And there's that natural release that he gets from the 3/4 delivery that puts a little bit of sideways spin on the ball since it's not straight over the top, so he doesn't get the true backspin.
Cedeno hitting with 1 out and 1 strike. Reaches for that one and pops a foul out of play. I guess there was a real period of time where most of the guys that would end up in the big leagues, a lot of them signed right out of high school and matriculated to the minor leagues rather than go to college first.
Yeah, that was the way to go.
But now there are options. You can go to college, junior college, go to the 4-year schools, and you're draft eligible again after your freshman year. And then not until your junior year. But if you go to junior college now, and there's some excellent junior college programs out there that play at an extremely high level, you're eligible for the draft after each year you play there. So it gives guys options who might not have been drafted or who were drafted and didn't like their draft status. Felt like going to school was a way to improve that. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ronnie. Didn't you go to college? You went to college at the Canyons, didn't you?
Junior college.
Junior college, right. Hot shot down to Reynolds. 5-3 goes the putout, and there are 2 away. Well, you can get the inside scoop on your favorite college teams straight from the head coach. The college football press conferences kick off tomorrow at 1 with Dave Wanstead and the Pitt Panthers, followed by Bill Stewart and the West Virginia Mountaineers at 1:30. Catch the college football press conferences right here, beginning at 1 on FSN.
So you missed one of the reasons, though, to go to college.
Which was?
You didn't get drafted, and you don't have a scholarship to go anywhere else, and you don't have any money to pay for school. Go to junior college.
Junior college.
There's another reason.
Yeah, but you get an opportunity.
Kept playing.
Some guys are late bloomers in high school. You know, they don't.
Sure. I believe that 100%. That some guys are late bloomers once they get to college. That there's probably been a number of good major league players, especially in the last couple of decades, that would have never played professionally if it wasn't for college, because they ended up doing well in a 4-year school and got a second chance at it. Whereas if they hadn't had that opportunity, they weren't good in high school, so that's it. They're done.
2-2 to Duke. Right at Reynolds. Third straight inning. The Pirates have gone in order. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and again 1-2-3. 2-1 Diamondbacks going to the 6th.
Third base. Watch the ball ends up going to his left after he broke right, and now it was all hands on deck emergency situation, and he comes up with the ball and throws a strike, and now he's having to fix all the holes he made. Doesn't want another one of those hops.
Replacing his divot.
That's the Freeze Camp. Today's Freeze Camp brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Chris Young leads off. 1-0 the count. Single in the first, walked and scored in the fourth. 2-1 Diamondbacks. Top half of the 6th inning. Final meeting of the season between the Bucks and D-backs. Pirates lead the season series 3 wins to 2.
All those infielders, they spend an awful lot of time with working with the dirt. Always pawing at it, picking up this little pebble or that. Smooth things out.
For that reason, so they get a good hop. Chris Young is out. It's called policing the area.
Yep.
You got to police the area, make sure it's nice and clean.
The cleat marks, they bring up the little, they're not really pebbles, they're like little tiny dirt clods. They're looking to see, is there any little spot where somebody may have ran by? But those the cleats, obviously, they get down in that dirt and they pull up little tiny clods. And on infields that don't get enough water, where they're real hard, you can see how a baseball hitting one of those, which maybe is as hard as a little pebble, is going to send it off its trajectory by a couple inches, which is enough to put it off the heel of your glove.
Grounds crew here does a great job keeping this field in super shape.
Oh, this is an outstanding surface. It really is.
One of the better ones. No doubt. Strike 2.
I'm watching out there. See, Walker just stepped in a couple steps and smoothed his foot across a little spot of dirt maybe he didn't like.
Reynolds down the left field line, foul. Watch out. Ooh. Walger almost got that.
Yep, almost made a nice catch. I'm guessing though that that's kind of like a little bit of a habit too that infielders get into. That they're doing that whether they see something or not. They just kind of like a pitcher pawing at the rubber a little bit. What's he doing? Nothing. He's thinking. You know. So there, Duke just did it. Now, why did he just knock that dirt to the side? He didn't even know he did it. It wasn't even a conscious thought.
One-two pitch to Reynolds. There's strikeout number 200 on the season for Mark Reynolds. 200 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's a big number.
He's 23 short of his own major league record, though. But he's got 13 games to go.
You see the 200 mark on the AGH cam. Breaking ball down out of the strike zone that he chased. And if he could just cut down a little bit on the strikeouts, then the batting average would come up. You know, he gets a lot of walks also. If he could just hit 250, his on-base percentage would be in the high 300s.
479 at bats, 200 strikeouts. Two out of LaRoche. Now it's 2-1. So now if you do a little math here, take the 200 away, you got 279 at bats. Try to figure out how many balls he's actually made contact with.
78 walks, I believe. Those aren't there anymore.
Strike two to LaRoche.
Those aren't at bats anyhow.
98 hits. LaRoche popped up left side. Cedeno is out. Tavada is in. And Jose Tavada corrals it. And Zach Duke gets out of the top of the sixth. 2-1 Diamondbacks. Zach Duke in a much better mood during this start. He's retired 7 in a row. He's through 6.
Yeah, that's something we haven't seen really out of Zach. He's so easygoing. He's always smiling, but it's really the last couple of weeks starting to wear on him. Nice to see him smile again.
That bat ended up out on the grass just beyond shortstop. Reynolds throws him out, but watch the majority of Andrew McCutcheon's bat where it goes.
Well, that was a saw job. Ball hit right on the handle. Look at that. Shiver me timbers. Okay, I got 2 in.
I was trying to find a way to put that one in, but you beat me to it.
I got.
It is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, we were told, so try to get 1 or 2
well,
more.
that's a fact. It is. It's not that we were told. It's on everybody's calendar.
Except mine. But I believe you. I must have had the faulty calendar. Mine was a misprint. 1-2 to Jose. 13 in a row, by the way, set down by Daniel Hudson. Last Pirate to reach was John Bowker to start the 2nd inning with a single. He set down everybody else since. Pirates have been involved in an awful lot of 1-run ball games lately. Going to find some runs here on a Sunday afternoon. Did he break his bat or throw it? I think he threw it.
Yeah, I don't see him holding anything. That was a bat toss. An Olympic event. Bat toss.
Now, there is an event in Scotland in the Highland Games called the caber toss. It's much different. You throw a telephone pole, basically.
I've seen that. Got to wear a dress and throw a telephone.
No, it's called a kilt. It's different. Probably not smart to tell those guys they're wearing a dress either.
I'm not planning on being at one of those.
If you can
events,
throw a telephone pole, you can wear whatever you want. There's a base hit. Maybe more as Tabata will turn on the Jets. He rounds first, heading for second. Here's the throw. Safe at second. And Tabata in scoring position with the tying run. And breaks a string of 13 in a row set down by Daniel Hudson.
He is so aggressive at going for 2 bases on these hits. That ball not even close to getting to the warning track. And really, he's in there easy. He's going to come around first base. Right on that inside corner, and then continues on, churning up the dirt. A lot of bad hops for the first baseman now.
Strike 1 to Walker. Neal is flied out foul. And flied to left. Average down a bit here in September. A good month in May. July was very good as well. August, not too bad. Had the most runs batted in of anybody in the ball club with 22 in August. He led all National League rookies with 22 RBIs in August. 0-2 to him with 1 out. Object here is to try to get Jose Tabata around and tie the ball game. One and 2. I told you Lastings Millage will be heading to Venezuela, play some winter ball, but Neil Walker, who played there last year, is not going. Neither is Tabata. Neither one will play winter ball. Andy LaRoche is heading to Venezuela too to play for Luis Durante. Pirates bullpen coach. Going to be managing in Venezuela again. Told me the other day that Andy will be on his team.
Andy, I think, really needs to go somewhere and get a bunch of at-bats. Hopefully enjoy some success, get his confidence going again.
Just to get a man over. So Tabata safe at third, tying run at third with 2 down. It'll be up to Pedro Alvarez to bring him in. Alvarez 263 with runners in scoring position. Pedro's hit safely in 11 of his last 15 games. Hit cleanup yesterday, walked and scored a run. Now, 10 of his 11 home runs have been here at PNC Park. His only road home run came at Milwaukee on the 11th of July. So he likes hitting here. And as a left-handed power hitter with that wall staring at you in right field, who wouldn't?
And this place was made for left-hand hitters and left-hand pitchers, as far as the dimensions of the ballpark anyway.
It's been a while for Pedro since he's hit one out of the ballpark. His last home run was against the Washington Nationals on September 5th. So it has been a full 2 weeks for him, 14 days since his last homer. 1-1. Now it's 1-2. Talbot, a one-out double, is at third base. Alvarez 0 for 1, walked in the first, struck out looking in the fourth. And Talbot trying to get home in the bottom of the sixth. And he will not do it as Pedro goes down on strikes. Pirates get a man on and leave him there.
Really nice to see him having this really a good day to this point. He's gone 6 innings, given up just 4 hits. He's been able to spot that fastball a couple of times inside the guys and setting up the changeup and the curveball. And for the first time in a while, we've been able to see some smiles on Zach's face. All that's missing from his afternoon is got to get him some runs.
He's been hornswoggled in that department.
Oh, very good.
Now my pirate term is done for the day. I've reached my quota.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Tony Abreu lifts one up in the air, left side of the infield. And Cedeno measures it up. 1 out. Nice quick out for Zach Duke. John Hester reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning, then doubled and drove in a run in the fourth. Hester getting a start today. Miguel Montero sitting out the day game following the night game. One is on the outside corner for a strike. Good to see Zach Duke pitching in the 7th inning. Right back to him. 2 down.
Watch Zach how quickly he jumps on that ball, just immediately on top of it, even though you know you have plenty of time. If there's an out there to get, you don't dilly-dally. You go right after it. That's a Pirate term, by the way, dilly-dally.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I've never heard that one. Gerardo Parra takes outside for a ball. I think somebody else came up with dilly-dally, Bob. I think you're just making it up.
You don't think that's a Pirate term?
No, I do not.
Man the guns and no dilly-dallying. I think I've heard Pirates say that.
Vast. That's down in the left field corner. And a double for Parra.
Now we have the pitcher coming up. Hudson. So it might be all right here.
Parra hits a double. There, now I'm done. International Talk Like a Pirate Day is over for me. Well, Daniel Hudson's pitched a very good game so far.
Yes, he has.
6-1 with the Diamondbacks, 7-2 overall. Spent 3 years with the White Sox organization. 5th round pick in 2008. So far he's made contact twice. Had a sharp ground ball in the 3rd inning to Ronnie Cedeno, then flied out to right on the first pitch he saw in the 5th.
He seems to kind of know what he's doing at the plate. Nice play by Duke. That'll do it.
And he gets out of the inning in short order. Just 9 pitches. Gives up the double, but no harm, no foul. 2-1 Diamondbacks. 7th inning stretch time. Going to be a great night Saturday night when the Bucs take on the Houston Astros at 7:05. After the game, one of America's favorite pop jam bands, OAR, will be taking the PNC Park stage for the final post-game concert of the 2010 season. Playing all their hits, including This Town, Love and Memories, and Shattered. For tickets, visit Pirates.com.
Well, we knew Hudson coming in had really been pitching well, and he's been doing exactly what we expected here this afternoon, giving up just that one run on the first pitch of the game and throwing these great change-ups. There you see turning the ball over, running it down and away from Domit. He definitely has been everything that we thought he might. One run, that opening home run on the first pitch he threw, and just 2 more hits since then. Very, very impressive. They've thrown a lot of strikes, too. Just 1 base on balls. Pirates struggling to get base runners out there even.
Steve Blass.
Hey, he's throwing the goodies out.
He's greeting his people. Showering them with gifts.
Every Sunday, if you come up underneath the radio booth, you got a chance to
get a plastic bag.
Get a plastic bag, yeah.
Good time to take a look at our AT&T Mobility trivia question. Brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Rethink possible. Delwyn Young has 15 pinch hits this season. Who holds the Pirates' single-season record?
Well, you and I know this one pretty well. We talked about it a lot on the radio last night, so we're going to have to step aside and
give an unfair advantage.
Yes,
because we talked about. Yes, we didn't know this was the question today, but no.
You know what we did talk about yesterday, we can talk about now. Craig Wilson, we're talking about pinch hitting excellence basically by a season. And one of the things that came up was the fact that Craig Wilson had 7 pinch hit home runs. 2001. 7 pinch, not 7 pinch hits, 7 pinch hit home runs. What a fabulous job he did coming off the bench to give that kind of instant offense when McClendon went to him.
Pirates need some instant offense here as we start the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing 2-1. 1-0 to Domit. High and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Whatever it takes. Got to get a base runner.
Bullpen busy. Hudson, even though he just 1 walk, he does have those 6 strikeouts. So his pitch count is pushing 100 now. By the end of this inning, it'll be over 100 for sure. And being young, being the fact that the season really doesn't mean a whole lot for the Diamondbacks at this point. Their record not much better than ours. I can't think they're going to let this young guy go very far over 100 pitches. We'll be into that bullpen here sooner than later.
Sam Demel, who worked last night, and Mike Hampton, who worked on Friday night.
They will not dilly-dally making that move.
Full count to Ryan Domit now.
I really think that is a Pirate turn.
It's not.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure. Over to left field, Ryan Roberts.
Swab the deck and don't be dilly-dallying? Never heard that.
Never heard that. No.
Okay.
Can't say that I have.
All right, you're starting to convince me now. I'll have to come up with something else.
Sticking to my guns on that one. Because you come up with stuff. I mean, over the course of a season, the stuff Bob comes up with, and some of it he slips by you. You just take his word for it. I think that's one of the things you're just trying to sneak by me.
You're calling the bluff.
Yeah. John Bowker today with a base hit. He's 1 for 2.
You think I'm flying a false flag?
Aye. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bowker. On an off day tomorrow. We're going to be heading up to Seven Springs tomorrow for the Sporting Clays Invitational. It's going to be a lot of fun. Great event. If you've never been up there to try the Sporting Clays, strongly suggest you do. We had the opportunity to do it last year, and really it was one of the events that look forward to very much going back again tomorrow. Pitch high, 2-2.
A nice time of year to head up to the mountains.
Get the
Won't be long. Leaves will start turning. You could see just occasionally you run across a tree here and there that's already started its trip to fall foliage.
Did you practice saying pull?
No, I haven't practiced that. I think I could do that without practice.
Really? Got to be ready for it, though. 12 gauge up. Full count now to John Bowker. That's beautiful up in the Laurel Highlands this time of year. Looking forward to going up there tomorrow on the off day. And back here on Tuesday against St. Louis. 3-2. Low ball 4 and the tying run aboard. Bowker runs fairly well. Kirk Gibson now coming up the dugout steps. And he's coming out to say hello and perhaps goodbye to Daniel Hudson.
Definitely could be goodbye. He's at 110 pitches or 108 pitches right now.
He's calling for Sam Demmel.
It's going to be it. Going to say good job, young man, but going to end your day. Need you strong for next year.
So the Diamondbacks have made the Columbia Gas 8-1-1 call to the pen. Sam Demmel comes on to relief Daniel Hudson. The Astros at 7:05, and all fans get a Pirates fleece, scarf, and glove set, courtesy of Seven Springs Mountain Resort, shown off by Neil Walker. Stay warm and show your Pirates pride all winter long. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. Nice set. Scarf and glove set. So Sam Demmel comes on, right-hander out of Texas Christian University. Has the school record for saves in a season there with 13. He'll face Brandon Moss with one out in the tying run aboard. John Bowker. A 2-1 game, Arizona in front. Moss to the right side, could be two. Second for one, and it is a double play. So the Diamondbacks get the twin kill, get out of the inning. And the Pirate threat is averted. On to the 8th, 2-1 B-backs. Plan to attack hitters. Plus, Lastings Millage recalls his experience playing in the Little League World Series. Catch all this and more inside Pirates baseball tonight at 5:30 on FSN. On the Bob Walk, Tim Never here at PNC Park, top of the 8th inning. And it'll be Stephen Drew, top of the order, facing Zach Duke. Ground ball to Bowker. He backs up. Flip on to Zach Duke, and there's one pitch, one out in the 8th.
While we got a moment, I'd like to send happy birthday wishes along to Nikki Vodapivic. Nikki turns 26 today. Happy birthday, Nikki. Good Pirate fan.
That's good. Good thing we had a minute to get that in. Ryan Roberts, the hitter. One-0 pitch. 1-1. And this one in the air to left center field and fairly deep. Going back on it, Tabata. He looks up. It is in the bullpen. And Ryan Roberts has hit just his second home run of the season, and now it's a 3-1 Arizona lead.
Yeah, this definitely hurts at this stage of the ball game. The Pirates just have 6 more outs on offense. You don't want to fall any further behind. And Roberts just buys a little insurance. Up and in fastball. Turned on it. And got the head of the bat to it. John Russell now is coming out of the dugout as you see the ball head toward the bullpen. And whoever that is standing back there, that's who's going to come in the game. Is it Hanrahan?
Well, Zach Duke is finished. And it looks as though it is right-hander Joel Hanrahan coming in for the Pirates. Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. 3-1 Diamondbacks in the top of the 8th. Top of the 8th, still manageable for the Pirates. Got to get into the bullpen for Arizona and start getting some runs here for Duke. Duke, all in all, 7 1/3. 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Here's Hanrahan, who is 3 strikeouts short of his career high. Hanrahan
close to leading the team in strikeouts.
He's got 90 of them this year. His career high was in 2008 when he struck out 93. And he's third among all relief pitchers in the majors, behind Carlos Marmol of the Cubs with 124. Tyler Clippard of the Nationals has 97.
The thing that I think has really made this year special for him is the fact that the strikeouts remain very high, but he's not giving up too many base runners in the other situations. Not a lot of hits, not a lot of walks.
Hanrahan shakes off Doman. Here's the 1-2 to Young.
Sometimes when guys are more aggressive toward throwing the ball over the plate, more aggressive to the glove, they don't have that same level of strikeouts anymore. Hanrahan is striking out people at better pace than ever.
Strikeout number 91. So he gets Young, and there are 2 down on the top of the 8th.
Just a hard slider right at the knees.
Here's a strikeout candidate, Mark Reynolds. Reynolds has struck out once today, the 200th of his season. Leads baseball in that category. One ball, 1 strike to Reynolds.
Hey, you would think that this would end in a strikeout, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you figure.
On paper.
He's 2/3 of the way there. Got him with the slider. And the only question here, does he come back with a fastball or another slider?
The answer is
a slider. And strikeout number 201 for Reynolds. Number 92 for Joel Hanrahan, who's 1 shy of his career high now. To the bottom of the 8th, Pirates need a couple of runs. They're down 3-1 here at PNC Park. Answer now. AT&T Mobility, rethink possible. Delvin Young, 15 pinch hits this year. The Pirates' single season record for pinch hits in a single season is held by Jose Pagan. 1969, he had 19 pinch hits. Still time to catch him.
Plenty of time here.
It'll be Cedeno, then Alex Presley hitting for Duke. in the top of the order, McCutchen. Pirates trailing by a pair of runs. Sam Demmel comes on, gets credit for 2/3 of an inning pitching for Arizona after he induced the ground ball double play hit into by Moss. Talk about double plays. 53 double plays since August 1st, tied for second in the majors with the Nationals and behind the Rockies, who have 59. Diamondbacks 6th in the National League. 141 double plays this season. Cedeno 0 for 2, pair of groundouts to the left side of the infield. Aaron Heilman, a guy who's been worked an awful lot this year for the Diamondbacks. He's on pace for 71 appearances. One of 3 pitchers to have worked 70 or more games in each of the previous 4 seasons. Twins John Roush, who's at 55 games, former Diamondback. And the Reds' Russ Springer. There's only 2 appearances since 2006. Heilman's 368 games, 3rd most. Now Cedeno will have himself a base hit. And why Reynolds was letting that one go is a mystery. Did he really think that was going to turn and go foul?
No, but he knew he didn't have enough play at first. Yeah, there's no way to throw him out on this ball. He's very deep. So just decided to go ahead and let it roll.
Give him the single. So a base hit for Ronnie. And the tying run coming to the plate. Garrett Jones, who did not start today, will face Aaron Heilman. Jones faced Heilman in the 8th inning on Friday night and struck out swinging to end that inning. Trying to get some payback now. He represents the tying run in a 3-run game. Bottom of the 8th. Throw to first. Cedeno back.
That insurance run looking pretty big right now.
Yes, it is. The way this game has been played, very tightly today. A tidy game defensively for the most part. An error on Bowker early in the ball game, but it didn't amount to anything. Strike on the inside corner. Jones looking to match last year's home run total of 21. Comes the 0-1 pitch. That's inside.
Ooh, way inside.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Jones hasn't started the last couple of games. He's got a sore left shoulder. So Bowker has started the last 2 games at first base. And Bowker does give the Pirates a pretty solid option at first base, the way he's been playing, with the exception of the error today. Other than that, he's looked very good. Coming around with the bat as well. 77 runs batted in for Garrett Jones. That leads the ball club. Jones coming off the bench in the bottom of the 8th. Pirates trailing by a pair of runs. Jones has been able to get on base in each of his last 10 games. This is the 146th game of 149 that he has played in now. Late on that one. Ball and 2 strikes to Garrett.
And the ball away from him. I don't know if he was just looking something off speed or not, but close to catching up with that fastball.
267 against right-handers. Fouls this one back.
This time fastball comes in. Changing sides of the plate.
1-2 to Garrett Jones. Bottom of inning number 8. And the Pirates still have this game within reach, down by just 2 runs. Cedeno off of first. Heilman throws over there again. Seems like the Diamondbacks are convinced that Cedeno will be on the move.
He might. It's just the 8th inning, so you don't necessarily have to play for 2 runs here. You can try to cut their lead in half. You have to be aware that he could possibly take off. Just can't ignore him.
Foul tip into the mitt, and that is strike 3. So he's faced Heilman twice and has struck out twice in this series. Take a look at the road ahead, brought to you by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Jake Westbrook will throw against the Pirates' Paul Maholm Tuesday night. Kyle Loesch against Charlie Morton. And the Cardinals will announce their pitcher later to face Brian Burris on Thursday afternoon. Coverage begins with the Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show. 6:30, 6:30, and noon. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's the road ahead. Andrew McCutchen homered in his first at bat. 1 for 3 today. Sixth time in his young career McCutchen has led off with a home run. Second time this season he's done it. A home run in back-to-back games. Last night a 2-run homer. 15 of his 16 home runs have been solo shots. McCutchen struck out in the 3rd, grounded out 2/3 in the 6th. Aaron Heilman working the first base side of the rubber, right-hander, looking over at Ronnie Cedeno at first. And the 2-0 coming to McCutchen. Inside corner for a strike. McCutchen probably better prepared physically and mentally this year, because last year he got the opportunity to play through September, found out what it was like, so it's the second time around for him to have a long season.
It looked like he was a little under the weather there for a while back in August. Wasn't really pushing things too much physically. Now it looks like he's pretty healthy and playing the heck out of the game again. But that's the challenges, I think. We talk about a 6-month season. All the little aches and pains that you have to go through. Remember his shoulder that he messed up in Colorado?
He's had some aches and pains.
Yeah, he's learning what it's like to April, May, June, July, August, September. You just have to keep on grinding through it. Plus, these guys really start playing the game in the middle of February.
Count is now full to McCutchen. 3-2, 1 out, and with Cedeno at first.
Guess he originally hurt his shoulder here and then hit that wall in center field at Coors Field and really aggravated it. But those are the kind of things that all these players have to learn to deal with in their careers, especially when you're playing as hard every day as McCutchen or Tabata.
Cedeno on the move on the 3-2 pitch with 1 out. He'll go back to first and get another jump here. McCutchen looking for another clutch hit. Had one last Sunday in Cincinnati. Give the Pirates a road win there. Does he have another one in him this Sunday? Payoff pitch coming from Heilman, but he'll stare down Cedeno, and Ronnie stares right back at him. Ronnie didn't move.
He's comfortable where he is. He thinks he can get back. So no reason to move.
Here's the payoff. Cedeno takes off, and McCutchen bangs it into center field. A base hit. Cedeno around second into third. It all worked out for the Pirates. Runners at the corners with one out.
Oh, that ball just smoked right back through the middle.
And you watch Tony Abreu, the second baseman, who was breaking to cover. He couldn't even get near the ball. It was hit so hard.
Yep. Right by him. If that would have been a little, one of those jam shot line drives, probably would have been a double play. He would have been able to get over and get to that ball. But the ball was barreled right up nicely.
Mel Stottlemyre Jr. out to talk to Heilman.
Wow, look at that. Right back through the middle. A shot across your bow.
Yes, sir. Like the cannonball that misses and keeps rolling.
Great shots, as always, with that AGH can today.
So now the tying run is aboard. Go ahead run at the plate in Jose Tabata. We'll see what they do with Tabata, who doubled in his last plate appearance in the 6th inning. He's grounded out twice to third. Rally caps are in order. It's okay. You can put them on.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but get that rally cap on and keep the broom nearby. You never know. I've got a good feeling about this. The way they've been playing in the later innings.
Well, you try to get him over. One and 0 to Tabata. Heilman's pitch. Inside 2-0. Now for Jose Tabata, the 2-0 pitch in this situation. He's got to be looking in a certain window for a pitch.
Oh, yeah. He's also, I'm sure, thinking about that giant hole over on the right side. That's his bread and butter, is hitting it through there. Base hit the right would be great.
2-0. Oh, my. Third base. Reynolds to second for one. That's all they're going to get. Pirates get a run out of it. It's now 3-2. And the tying run remains on base. But Mark Reynolds somehow, some way, came up with a ball that was just scorched to third.
This is definitely a shiver me timbers play. What a bounce. What a reaction by Reynolds. How did he keep that ball from getting down in the corner? That could be a game saver. You see that every now and then. He's just shrugging. Yeah, I know. It was a good play. But that was a fabulous play. And for the Diamondbacks, I mean, it can't come at a better time. That is at least a single. I'm saying with Tabata, if he doesn't make that catch, how many times does Tabata not go to second base?
Goes all the time.
Okay, so we're looking at second and third,
yeah, and
just one out. The tying run at third, go ahead run at second. Huge play.
And Neil Walker due for a hit. He's 0 for 3 today. Walker hit a home run on Friday night in his first at bat. Went 2 out of 4 Friday. Last night he had a 2-run single in the 4th inning.
See if Jose goes.
Pitch almost got Walker. Two and 1 to Neal. Clutch late inning situation, bottom of the 8th. 3-2, Diamondbacks with the lead. The Skywalkers, look at them.
I think Jose's going on this pitch. 2 and 1. They're not going to pitch out. They don't want to go to 3 and 1. Looks like they're going to throw a changeup. Go ahead. Take off on a changeup. Nope, not going.
Outside 3 and 1. The Skywalkers had their lightsabers. couple of, there's a Darth Vader dude in the middle. Three 1 to Walker. Use the force, Neil. Pretty well struck to center. Way back it goes. It is gone! A two-run shot. Neil Walker. And the Pirates lead it 4-3.
The Pittsburgh kid does it again. Wow. What a story Neil Walker is.
Outstanding. High fives all the way around and more than well deserved. Walker's second homer of this series, his 12th of the year. He's got an even dozen.
How about all those RBIs he's come up with, too?
RBIs 57 and 58 on this swing of the bat.
.400 feet to center field, and he clears it easily.
And that will chase Aaron Heilman. And now, fans hoping to sweep the Snakes. Columbia Gas 8-1-1. Call to the pen has been made. Neil Walker with a big-time swat out to center field, driving in Ronnie Cedeno and Jose Tabata. Cedeno had already come in, but 3 runs into the inning. And now the Pirates have taken a 4-3 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. And he's still smiling. And now Pedro Alvarez will have to face the veteran Mike Hampton. Aaron Heilman chased after 2/3 of an inning. Curveball for a strike. But how good does that feel for Neil Walker?
That's just amazing. I think, about being the #1 pick, and then, in your hometown, and now coming up and having a first season like he is just a little storybook deal.
So on to the top of the 9th inning. And the Pirates break out the brooms and close out the Diamondbacks. Find out next. LaRoche, Abreu, and Hester coming up. They start the final homestand that way, looking for their first ever sweep over Arizona and their fourth sweep of the season. Average and runs, starters ERA, all pretty good. Pirates 8-4 in the last 12 here at PNC Park, won 4 of the last 5, trying to make it 5 of 6. The young fans, they are into it. Neil Walker brought them all to their feet with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th. Pirates putting a 3 spot on there.
If the Pirates can hold on to this lead, they'll be 36-39 at home. That would be a nice little goal for this club to get to that 500 mark here at home. If you win today, you've got 6 games left to try and pick up those 3 games. Wouldn't be easy, but it certainly would be doable.
Evan Meek starts off Adam LaRoche with a strike.
That'd be a nice little feather in the cap from an otherwise rough season. We got to win today, though. 3 outs away.
And LaRoche today has an RBI double back in the 4th. 0-1 pitch to Adam. And a ground ball toward the middle. Cedeno gloves it. 1 down, 2 to go. In case you missed it, around the majors, presented by Mazda. Andy Pettitte returned to the mound for the Yankees for the first time since July 8th. Tyler Colvin was pierced by a broken bat while running the bases in Florida today. Taken to a hospital in stable condition. Mark Ellis today versus the Twins, 3 for 3 with a homer and a double. And Jason LaRue, his career is over. Johnny Cueto, you may remember, was repeatedly kicking him in the head during that skirmish between the Cardinals and the Reds. He got a concussion, and ultimately the symptoms that LaRue is experiencing are going to cause him to end his career. Calling it quits. 1-1 to Tony Abreu. Cardinals come in here Tuesday. Pirates have 6 remaining with St. Louis. 1-1 to Abreu. There's a strike, 1-2.
St. Louis 7 games back. And going into today's action, they have been for the last week or so. They're just desperate to win as many games as they can, and they've been losing a lot of games.
8 strikes out of Abreu, and the Pirates are 1 out from a sweep.
Very well played game. Good timely hitting, using the long ball. You see the hard breaking ball by Meek, putting them away.
And a pinch hitter now comes up for the Diamondbacks. Kelly Johnson takes ball 1.
All starts with that starting pitcher, Zach Duke. His best start by far in quite some time. And gave us the opportunity to come back in the 8th, take this lead with a 3 spot.
1-0 pitch. Foul ball. 1-1. And Kelly Johnson, good numbers, but there's the man of the hour right now, Neil Walker. And Evan Meek. The stretch and the 1-1 pitch to Johnson. Up in the air to left. Top it underneath it. And the Pirates sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks. A come from behind victory here today. And for Arizona, thanks for coming. Don't forget to turn out the lights and lock the door on your way out.
A very strong game by everybody. As I said, Zach Duke, just for Zach, he really needed this today. Get him feeling a little bit better about the way things are going. And he's not going to get a W. There won't be anything like that by his name, but he was probably the biggest reason today that the team won 4-3 was the start that they got by Zach Duke.
Fans appreciate the effort today. The players appreciate each other's efforts today. A 3-run bottom of the 8th rather for the Pirates, and Evan Meek